The Super Saiyan.
Kakarot is a Super Saiyan. That's right. You heard me. If there's a god, he must be good for letting me live long enough to see this day. How great! This is a dream come true to see you beaten by a Saiyan. What's your problem? He was no threat to you anymore. He couldn't even defend himself. There's no honor in that.
It was the only way I could shut him up. He insists on babbling about that ridiculous legend. There's no such thing as a Super Saiyan.
Listen to me. Don't be so soft. There's no stinking honor in any of this. It's just a game played away. There are no rules to it. You have to forget about your feelings. You have to. They'll get you killed. They'll get you killed, Kakarot. I can't change who I am. Not on the battlefield. My feelings are my guide. Besides, everybody deserves a chance to change their ways, just like you had. Fool, you don't know what you're dealing with. He killed our whole planet. It was him.
He's just a corpse and he's still blabbing. I'll have to gag him to shut him up.
Your father and mine, the whole planet, he blew it up. It's true. No one survived but us. Ask him if they want. He'll tell you. He's proud of it. Please stop talking, Vegeta. It's sapping all your strength. No. Listen. You have to hear this. We worked so hard for him. We did everything he asked of us and more. He took me from my father when I was just a little boy. He made me do whatever he wanted and said he would kill my father if I didn't. I did everything he asked, but he killed him anyway, along with everyone else. He was scared of us. Scared that the Super Saiyan would be born to rise up and overthrow him.
A touching story.
Please, no more. Save your strength. Kakarot, please. Destroy Breach. He made me what I am. Don't let him do it to anyone else. Whatever it takes. Stop it. Please.
The Prince. The Prince.
Not as cold-hearted as you believed yourself to be. Hard stone can't shed tears like you did. You must have been holding them back your whole life. I think I understand you now. You weren't grieving over your own death, or because our home planet was destroyed.
I still respect you. I know you made a lot of mistakes. But now I see that it wasn't all your fault. You had the fiery will of a Saiyan. Please share that with me now, because I need it. Thank you for saving my son's life, for buying enough time for me to recuperate. I'll do my best to carry out your wish. It's true, Vegeta's right. You have no honor. For him, and for everyone else you've destroyed, I am going to finish you.
Hey, let's get out of here, Gohan. You can only get in the way.
I'm leaving you, Dad. Don't you dare lose.
No. I'm watching Goku versus Frieza on Planet Namek. What's up, Akshay? What's up, Bitcoin? Takashi.
Now I'm going to end this fight. But allow me to let you in on this. I've only used 1% of my power.
Huh? What? No way, you're bluffing. It's just not possible.
I've never had to summon this much of my power to beat someone. 50% of my maximum. That's all that's required for this.
I wouldn't worry too much about Goku yet, Johnson. No sweat. He's gonna be fine.
What?
Don't forget, Goku still has an ace up his sleeve. Thanks to you. Goku hasn't used the Kaioken attack yet. He'll set Frieza straight when it does.
You don't know what you're talking about. Goku has been using the Kaioken attack the entire time. But now Frieza's picking him apart, even when he's fully energized by the attack.
Man, this shit bringing back the memories. This is crazy. What's up, Arya? Shit holy, bro. Animation is shitty compared to what we get nowadays. It was good for what it was back then, though.
You're mine, Frieza.
Prepare for battle!
You ain't hear what I said? Run it back.
My guess is that you're all out of gas. What? What is he doing?
They did it because they know you gonna summon regardless. You hear the gameplay, Arya?
There! Up in the sky!
What's up, Twitty? Renji looks amazing. What?
It's about to detonate!
You talking about on Legends, Zach?
I call upon the trees and the water, the sun, the moon and the stars, the plants and the animals, all living things. Let me share your power.
Man, they finna boot the fuck out of female warriors tomorrow. They finna be slapping, nigga. Up, Adrian.
Man, look at it. It gets bigger every second.
Frieza doesn't seem to be capable of detecting the attack. So tell me what's taking Goku so long to use it.
Probably because Goku doesn't think it's big enough to defeat Frieza.
Oh no! Frieza knows!
Don't think so.
What's up, Dragon Knight?
created it.
That should do it. We don't want to give up all our energy. Frieza knows about Goku's attack. Gohan, Krillin, you stay put and don't move. I've got some unfinished business to take care of.
Piccolo?
Goku, you must hurry and finish collecting energy for your attack.
Yeah, you got it.
Big dick OG. My girl will come.
Come on, you've got to hurry up. That attack used up all the power I had left in me.
I'm trying.
You and this entire planet will be reduced to nothing but dust!
Goku, is it ready?
All that time for he cannot do the job.
Yes, it's complete.
Come on, do it! Hit the nerve!
Impossible! I can't control it! It is too powerful!
This is Extreme Co-op. How could you not tell, bro? Well, there's only two people playing. It's just big ass pools, range guard enemies, melee guard enemies.
Goku has defeated Vegeta!
No. Galactic Emperor. The fuck? Sound cut. I hope it come back. This dude, why he's gonna get you taking 1 damage in this extreme co-op, yo? He probably could low-key auto this bitch.
Hey, sorry to make you worry.
Goku, your spirit bomb was just awesome! It was so huge!
That's because it was filled with the energy of every living creature in the solar system.
I gotta admit, I thought that I'd never see you again.
Surely you must have had more faith in your father than that.
Well, guys, if we leave right now, it'll take us just about 5 days to get home. What is it, Krillin? The spaceship I used to get to this planet shouldn't be too far from here. Find Bull in the ship, and then get as far away from here as you can.
If you think that your little friends can escape me, you're sadly mistaken. This time you won't come back.
Okay.
Stop this!
Goku. Woo, shit. Nigga pop freezer, bro. That's crazy. I mean, Krillin.
I won't let you get away with this!
I wonder how someone that never, ever seen anything Dragon Ball related will react to seeing Super Saiyan Goku. Wow. I'm your father and I do as I say.
You must leave this planet.
That shit holy, nigga.
With you, got it? This is the last time I'm going to tell you! Get out of here right now, Gohan!
They changed it. That's not what he said. Little headband. Ow.
You just don't know when to stop. Enough is enough. First Vegeta, then Piccolo, and now my best friend Krillin.
Chill out, Akshay. You ain't shit,
You
bro.
don't care. I can see that. Their lives mean absolutely nothing to you. You're not the least bit sorry. Even now, all you can think about is how to destroy me.
How did you get this incredible power? Don't tell me. It's true, isn't it?
No more. No more.
No, act. Go ahead, bro. You on my head though. Chill out. Y'all seen the new characters? I don't need any of them. The one I want the most is Cayenne though.
Hey, why can't I hit you? tell me.
You didn't say please. You can destroy planets, but you can never destroy what I am, friend.
What are you?
I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. I am protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth.
There it is. Dad's spaceship. It looks okay. Hang on, Bigelow. We're going home.
Now say goodbye to David.
Oh, man. Lola, where are you?
Hey, thanks! Wow! And hey, what took you so long, you big jerk? And you could have left yourself more than 20 seconds to spare, you know. This is my life we're talking about here. Hello? Wake up call!
Oh, God.
Can you hear me? This is Tommy.
Tommy?
Do you remember my trusty assistant, Mr. Bobo?
Your guy?
Yes, that's him. Well, he's been searching for the Dragon Balls, and he's doing very well, bless him. He already has 5 of them.
Tommy? Exactly where are you?
Why, I'm on Earth, of course.
Hey, that means that you're still alive, Tommy.
Huh?
You know what this means, Tommy. Piccolo must still be alive.
Huh? Yes, I couldn't be here if he wasn't.
Well, guys, Piccolo's alive.
Really?
I make a Goku be preaching.
So, you couldn't do it. You couldn't go through with it after all, huh? I don't blame you. Destroying both of us to make sure that I don't win isn't any way to fight. It's just another way of giving up.
You don't get it, Jimmy. I cannot destroy myself. Just you and the planet. I can leave as safe as you can. That means if the planet goes, then you won't have any more air to live on. And I shall be victorious. 5 minutes. That's how long it has. This planet is still going to blow. The core has been completely disintegrated.
5 minutes is all that I need. It won't even take me that long to beat you and leave with my friends on my spaceship.
The true depth of my power escapes. It's time that you experience ultimate freedom.
Man, we get that on Legends. Ooh, wee. Man, so much spice. Man. Her Nash stream, that final hit is fucking horrible. I can't lie, bro. What the fuck? It spreads out so far.
But if we revive all of the victims of trees in this game, then the mammoths will all be brought back, and I think Lulu will be killed. But I thought Lulu died of natural causes. No, Lulu died of a broken heart. That was the pain that he felt over the loss of his people. Trees and handiwork. I see. Now, when Lulu returns, then there will be one more wish to be granted by the Dragon of Death, because Gohan is
Yeah, okay, bro. Yeah, Soy Phone would get the pots on my account too. I still think she dope as fuck.
and as a going away present, we'll give the planetarium to Frieza, which should explode in its face and blow into smithereens as everyone's gone. Not bad. Brilliant, but extremely risky.
Yes, of course. Can you please restore the lives of all those killed by Frieza and his gang? Is it within your power to grant this wish?
What's up, bro?
Maybe I can beat him. I've got to give it a try. So
Because, nigga, they saving Lease. Caleb trying to save the thickness, bruh. Man, Riruka is everywhere, bro. I hate this bitch too. Chill out, bro. Looking to run right flew all the way over towards me.
But there's no time to lose. We must.
No, don't do it! King Kai, please make a change in your wish. King Kai, don't have the dragon send me back to Earth. No! Ask the dragon to send everyone to Earth except for Frieza and me!
We have work to do. You see the dragon before you, my son.
Yes, Guru.
It's not 7 seed though. Actually, what are you talking about, bro?
Isn't that the dragon? Yes! It's wish time!
Oh no, Frieza!
No, no! Dragon, I wish for eternal life. Grant me immortality!
Feels bad.
Hey, yeah! I killed you! You must be a ghost! Can a ghost do this? Oh, Frieza!
I did 7C before the first time. Ooh, shit. Man. Fuck you, Simba. What the fuck? Trying to watch this fight and fight at the same time is not easy.
Your energy level is decreasing with every blow. In fact, you're not even a challenge to me anymore. It wouldn't be fair for me to keep fighting you. I'm satisfied now. Your pride has been torn to shreds. You've challenged and lost to a fighter who is superior to you, and to make it worse,
He was just a monkey.
he's just a monkey. It would be meaningless to fight you now. You're too scared and ashamed.
Nigga Goku's so different, bro. Like my nigga, Frieza tried to kill you, kill your friends, destroy all these Namekians. You let him live. Give him energy. He turned his back on you again. If anyone dies, it's you.
I gave you some of my own energy. You should be able to move. Go and do what you like with it. You're on your own now.
Now learn what happens when you mess with the most powerful being in the universe!
What a fight.
Sure is dark out here. Pretty lonely, too. I've got a lot of work to do if I want to get my power level up as high as Vegeta's. Might as well go ahead and start training now. Hey everybody, Techie 101 here. Now, I'm going to be closing out the Admiral series of discussions in this video. I actually wasn't even planning on doing this one, but there are two specific characters that I feel need to be mentioned as we are talking about the highest ranking Marines in the story of One Piece. And
Burn a flash for that ass.
To Monkey D. Garp and Sengoku. Do we ever get a last name for Sengoku? No, I think it's just Sengoku. Yeah, it's just Sengoku. Okay, now these two characters don't really appear all that much in the story.
Boo and Beers though, bro. Boo was sealed, and Beers only mattered if Frieza had to fight him. Frieza didn't even have to fight him.
Relevant to the story, but they don't really appear enough to warrant their own separate video, like just a Sengoku-centered video or a Garp-centered video. I think I can knock them both out in the same one. But it's important to mention here that these characters, they're part of the old guard. They're part of the previous generation. The time when they were on the seas, you know, being Marines and busting pirates, you know, that era has come and gone, and this is not their story. This is the story about Luffy's generation, about the generation of the rookies, and by extension with that, we also have like the Yonko and the current admirals here. But I don't think we're going to be getting like, oh, okay, now we're going to have a scene where Garp is just going to go freaking badass throughout an entire arc. We're probably going to get to see a pretty cool fight scene with them at some point in the story, but we might not. And if we don't, I don't think that's a big deal. I know we always like to look at these really badass older characters and we like to think, oh man, we're definitely going to, I can't wait to see what they're going to be capable of. But we might not. If we never get to see a badass fight with like Sengoku going all crazy Buddha on somebody, you know, just don't feel bad. I just don't think that that's, you know, that's really the point of the story. I think they're just trying to focus on the younger generation.
You turned into a piece of chocolate real fast.
Now, Garp is interesting because he actually
Who is
appeared
this lurking on
in an
stream?
early draft
Element
of One Piece
2K.
in
Oh wow.
Romance Dawn version 2, which is sort of like relevant to the story, but it's kind of like a parallel universe where like little things are different. That was the first scene where we saw Luffy having a grandfather, although he didn't look exactly like Garp does now. He was a little bit more pudgy, but he still had the same basic layout of like the goatee and the scar along his, I guess it would be his left eye here. That's another thing too. All members of the monkey family have like a mark on the left side of their face. You know, Luffy has the scar that he inflicted on himself, and Garp has the crescent-shaped scar on his eye, and then Dragon has the tattoo. He's also Dragon's father. So it's not like the deal with Ace, how, you know, Ace was like Luffy's adopted brother or something like that. No, it is a blood relation. You know, Garp, you know, his son is Dragon, and then Dragon's son is Luffy, and then that brings us to where we are here. But yeah, he first appeared in Romance Dawn version 2, and his introduction in the actual One Piece story is a little bit he first appears rather early on during the Diary of Kobe Meppo. Okay, so remember our little pink-haired, pudgy little kid named Kobe, you know, the guy that first appeared in Romance Dawn, and, you know, we all thought was maybe going to be Luffy's sidekick on his journey, but then he leaves to join the Marines. We don't get to see him for hundreds of fucking chapters. And you kind of forgot about him occasionally. Kobe and Helmeppo, after the whole deal on Shelltown with Morgan, after Morgan was, you know, defeated by Zoro and brought to justice, the person that went to Shelltown to kind of court-martial and arrest Morgan was Garp. And at the time when he showed up, he was wearing a dog mask, and that's kind of his trademark. He also has a dog on the mast of his ship. And so he was introduced there, but that was in a cover story. I believe there was a few episodes, like filler in the anime when they were in the Grand Line. I think there was some there, like in between, like, it was like in between Whiskey Peak and Little Garden, or in between Little Garden and Drum Island. There was like two filler episodes where it covered the cover page. By the way, minor side note and tangent, the anime needs to do that a lot more. The anime, you know, I will be fine with filler arcs if you take it from the source material. Go to the different cover stories throughout the One Piece manga and adapt that into a filler arc. You should be able to get at least 2, 3, 4 really good filler episodes per cover page. And so that way it'll maybe give you more time to work on the animation and stuff to come, because I know the animation schedule is fucking hell. So I would be fine with that. Wouldn't you be fine with that? To get to see Eneru's Great Space Operation animated, or the fucking CP9 independent report? That would be awesome. Do it. Even if it's only 1 or 2 episodes, I'd be fine with it. But anyway, minor side note. That's when Garp first showed up, but we had no idea the relation to Luffy, or even what he really looks like, or what his relevance was. We just thought, oh, it's a high-ranking Marine guy that has a dog mask. And I think part of the reason Oda did that was to obscure his face so that we wouldn't recognize him from Romance Dawn version 2, even though that was sort of just like a rough draft for what would eventually become One Piece. He eventually shows up in the actual story post Enies Lobby. This is when he introduces himself to the Straw Hat Pirates, and this is when we learn that he is Luffy's grandfather, as well as this is also the point where we learn that Luffy's father is Monkey D. Dragon, the revolutionary. A lot of fucking shit dropped in this post-Enies Lobby arc here when the crew goes back to Water 7 and they're resting up in Galley Lot. Garp is informed that that's where Luffy is, because Luffy kind of pissed the government off a little bit when he did, I don't know, pretty much burn down the world government flag on Enies Lobby, beat up one of their Cyberpol agents, Tom Assassin, Spondon got the shit beat out of him.
How do people do that?
Indirectly because
They want to say something, and then they be like, well, I don't know, and then they say it. You know, so why did you say I don't know? I don't know, maybe you should use Chad in PvP. Oh, I see you got Chad and you struggling in PvP. I don't know, maybe you should use Chad in PvP.
Garp has a member of his crew, it's kind of like his right-hand man, his name's Bogart, and I don't have a picture of him ready to queue up, but he looks just like Humphrey Bogart from Casablanca, and he has like the hat and the suit and everything and a sword, and we don't really know what his whole deal is, but he looks really cool, so I hope we get, you know, some more stuff on him later on.
Man, I do not like this final hit on Slave Phone third strong attack. I mean, no more attack, bro. I do not. I feel like I'm missing damage and shit. I'm dying a lot, like, damn. I can't even revive. Oh, somebody doing this special.
His epitaph in the Marines, by the way, is Garp the Fist, or Garp the Hero. We don't exactly know
Kairos, bro, your connection is too bad to be playing stream co-op, bro. That's 2 DCs, man.
which is one of the reasons why Garp wanted Luffy to become a Marine later on. But it's also probably because he had to deal with Roger a lot. Garp and Sengoku are the two members, like I said, of the older guard that had to deal with a lot of the battles during Roger's generation. That's when their heyday sort of was, running around chasing the king of the pirates. As well as that, Garp also had a lot of run-ins with other pirates, such as Shaki, although we don't really know how that went down yet, as well as Don Qinzhao. And the epic scene here where he punches Qinzhao's fucking, he had the spearhead, you know, his head that he could armor up with hockey, and he could, like, split an entire cotton in half. And then Garp just, fuck you, and just bam, just crushed his entire head. Now, you know what, we'll get into the hockey discussion later, okay? But for right now, I'm just going through, you know, Garp's history and everything as a Marine hero, okay? So we don't, that's probably one of those reasons, or all of those reasons, why he's considered a Marine hero. And Garp the Fist, because he probably has one of the strongest armament hockey in the entire story, like, period. After he arrives at Galila, Luffy is just to the rest of his crew, he's like, don't try to fight him. You will die. Don't bother. And then this is where we find out the fucked up history of Luffy's family. Okay, so Garp, you know, he was basically Luffy's father figure growing up in his when Luffy was really young. Okay, before he even met Shanks, before he got sent to Don Don, before he met Ace, when Luffy was just growing up in Fuchsia Village, he was probably raised a lot by Makino and the mayor and everybody, but Garp would appear every now and then. Remember, Garp's a vice admiral, so he has a lot of other shit he needs to do, but he would appear every now and then to bond with Luffy, which includes throwing him into a jungle, throwing him down a trench, tying a bunch of balloons to him and sending it up to the fucking stratosphere, all in the sake of making him strong so he could become a Marine someday. That was Garp's dream, to get Luffy and Ace to join the Marines and follow in his footsteps. Of course, Shanks shows up at Fuchsia one time when Garp wasn't there, and then Luffy learned all about the pirate life, and that's what he wanted to do with his life. It's very possible, in fact likely, that if Shanks had never shown up there, Luffy would have become a Marine. Which was interesting. I think there should be a One Piece parallel story with that. Like,
Alright, fuck Stream Co-op, I'm done.
That'd be pretty cool. Even
My phone overheating too, man.
Very entertaining. The same events, just with Luffy as a Marine, you know? He's still wicked strong and everything like that. But yeah, so after a few years of that, of his training, and after Luffy met Shanks and he started on this pirate shit, Garp, I guess, decided he needed a little bit more. So what he did was, he took him over to Don Don, Curly Don Don, who was a mountain bandit at the time. And by the way, Garp, he's a Marine, Vice Admiral, really high ranked, but he's pretty loosey-goosey when it comes to that kind of shit sometimes. He still follows the rules, sort of similar to Aokiji there. In fact, Garp actually did something to save Aokiji's life in the past, so that's why Aokiji said he was kind of indebted to Garp. But yeah, he during the war and everything like that, he was there and he stood up for, he even confronted his own grandson there, although he didn't really fight back. That was the point where he was kind of like, tough on what he should do. But he fought against Roger for all those years, so he's obviously takes his position as the Marine very seriously, but he's kind of loose with it, with like, hey, Don, take care of these kids and I won't turn you in, even though you go around pillaging villages all the time, So he's under the impression that just because you're a bandit or just because you're a pirate doesn't mean that you're a bad person. And he's one of the few high-ranking Marines that actually understand that fucking distinction, especially playing off of Aki Inu. So yeah. But anyway, gives Ace and Luffy over to Don Don, and then Don Don kind of takes care of them for most of their childhood. Garp shows up a few times to just say hi and beat the shit out of them and train them and everything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't really get much more of Garp in that sense. After post-endings lobby, he shows up. He chases off the Thousand Sunny with his trademark giant-ass iron ball, which is like the size of his fucking ship. Don't even tell me how that shit works, how you fit a giant, huge ball. But yeah, Garp is wicked strong. He's probably one of the most physically strong characters in the entire story. So, he like chucks this giant ball at the Thousand Sunny. They use Kuda Burst and get the fuck out of there. So it's more of just like he's testing his grandson. In fact, a lot of times when Luffy does outrageous shit,
Garp is just kind of laughing his ass off when he learns about Luffy's infiltrated Impel Down, Garp. What the fucker is he doing? And Garp's just like, ha ha, Luffy, that's great. What a rice cracker, Sengoku. You know, and Sengoku's freaking out, and that's an interesting, you know, parallel they have together. They have this little this little fucking bulk and skull routine going on sometimes. It's kind of funny. But yeah, he shows up at Marineford, of course. This is a moment where he doesn't really do a lot of fighting himself because he's about to witness Ace die. And Ace is he's not his paternal grandson, but he's like his adoptive grandson. Roger himself actually asked Garp to raise his kid, or at least make sure that his kid doesn't die. You know, Roger was in Impel Down waiting to be executed, I guess, or he was in prison somewhere. And Garp was talking to him, and even though, you know, one's a pirate, one of the greatest pirates ever, the greatest pirate ever, and then Garp is this marine hero who chased him down a shit ton of times.
Fucking hand hurt, man.
Oh shit, I just realized something. Could it have been maybe, because Roger turned himself into the Marines, but the Marines like, you know, they caught him, you know, to bolster their ranks. So like, yeah, we caught the fucking Pirate King, go Marines. They didn't actually do that. Roger turned himself in. But perhaps the story that they spun was that Garp, this great Marine who has been chasing Roger for years, he's the one that caught him. And then maybe that's how Garp got the epitaph of, you know, the Marine's great hero or something like that. And that's why he's so revered by everybody in the lower ranks. And he was even offered the Admiral position, by the way, but Garp turned it down because he's just like, I don't need the Admiral position. That would actually restrict me a little bit. So that's why he kept his Vice Admiral status. That actually makes a lot of sense. And that would also make a lot of sense why Garp doesn't really give a shit about, like, you know, he's like, he doesn't go around being like, I'm the Marine's great hero. You know, he doesn't give a shit about that. That might actually be the way they spun it. That actually makes a lot of sense. But anyway, while Roger was waiting in prison, Garp said to him, Roger said to Garp, he's like, I have a kid. You know, I banged this chick in the South Blue, and she's going to give birth to this kid pretty soon. The Marines are going to find them, and they're going to kill him. And I don't want that kid to be punished for the sins of his pirate father. So Garp, you and I have been chasing around each other. You guys, you know me pretty well. All those times you tried to kill me. You'll help that kid out, won't you? And Garp's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But Garp was a stand-up guy. Like I said, he didn't have the kind of morality that Akainu had. He didn't view, oh, Roger, you're the king of the pirates, therefore fuck you and your kid. No, he's like, all right, you're right. The kid doesn't deserve to fucking die because he's just an innocent baby. He doesn't deserve to die because of you. So, Garp helped Ace, you know, get away from, you know, the Marines' radar there, and then brought Ace to Don as well to raise. It was also really complicated there because Ace hated his father a lot. He hated Roger, and Garp was trying to make him see that, you know, your dad, you shouldn't hate your dad, okay? Because he wasn't really a bad guy. He was a pirate. They're not the same. And Ace just would not. Ace always hated Roger. To the day he died, he did not like Roger, and he viewed Whitebeard as his actual father. But yeah, there was that. During Marineford, of course, Luffy is trying to rescue Ace, and Garp has to stand in the way there. You have the scene where Inazuma creates the stone stairwell where Luffy could just, okay, all you have to do, Luffy, is just climb up this stairwell, and then you'll be right at Ace's execution platform. So Luffy begins to run up, and then Garp just crashes down right in front of him, and then Luffy just closes his eyes, goes gear second, and then BAM! Punches his grandfather right in the face without really even a word. And, well, there was words. Garp was just like, I'm not gonna move, Luffy. Now, Garp could have kicked the shit out of Luffy 8 Ways to Sunday if he wanted to. But he didn't. I think just because, you know, he was viewed as like, I'm a Marine, I have to stand against him, because this is the pirate Monkey D. Luffy trying to rescue Ace. He cannot have that. I have to stand against him. I have to stand in front of him. But at the last minute, Garp just could not bring himself to punch his grandson. So he didn't activate Haki, he didn't do anything. He just kind of stood still and then just took the hit. Obviously did not really hurt him at all. I think he had like a bloody lip afterwards or something, but it's nothing to Garp. But very, very emotional scene. That and the scene where Luffy had to gum no bullet Kobe. Very emotional scenes in Marineford, where it really just, it tightens Luffy's resolve. Like, no matter who it is, I will save Ace. No matter who I have to punch, no matter who I have to face, my friends, my family, I will save Ace. I would talk about Garp's relationship with Dragon, but we don't really have all that much of that to go on. I mentioned Dragon to Luffy at Water 7. That's how Luffy found out that Dragon was his father. Apparently Smoker, I guess, told Garp about the situation at Logtown when Dragon showed up to rescue Luffy, and so that's how Garp knew about it. You know, he's like, "Oh, you already met your father in Logtown, Luffy." And yeah, I guess I'll talk about the hockey thing now. He doesn't have a devil fruit. I mean, he just doesn't. I think we would have learned about that by now. We haven't seen any disproof, like we haven't seen him swimming or anything, but I'm pretty sure Garp does not have a fucking devil fruit. What he does have is probably the strongest armament hockey in the story. Garp is well known, of course, as Garp the Fist, and you know he doesn't do that shit where he arms up his entire body with armament hockey. So he's not known like super badass, like you know, like just like, oh, I'm gonna have an entire army, armor of that. Like, which is funny because every time a character does that, like Virgo and Pika, they always get fucking one-shotted like immediately after. But no, he just usually charges up hockey in his one fist, and then that is enough to punch out, you know, really strong fucking characters. Like one shot with Jin Zhao. Jin Zhao is also an expert at using armament hockey. Now you also might be saying, well, Matt, Luffy did that too to Jin Zhao. Luffy was able to pierce through Jin Zhao's hockey as well. Well, he was, but also think about it this way. Jin Zhao obviously was in his prime when he fought Garp. But also, the thing was there, he had that spike on his head that he charged up with hockey, which was like this incredibly powerful spear. Garp punched that. He, like, punched the spearhead down and, like, and crushed his head. When Luffy fought Jin Zhao already had his head was, like, blunt, you know, and then Luffy had to still go fucking gear third, armament hockey, Thor fucking elephant gun, you know, charging up with, like, static electricity or however the hell that worked. And then punched him, and that didn't, like, punch the spear down. It, like, straddled his head and popped it back up. I'm just gonna say, it's more impressive for Garp, who just did it with one fist, with no devil fruit powers, no big theatricality, and then just punched a spear right down to the nub. I think that would have been a little bit more impressive. He probably has the strongest armament hockey in the story. I don't think anyone, well, I mean, like you might say, like, oh, well, maybe Akainu, or maybe some, like, Shanks, or Yonko, or Kaido might have the strongest. But I think Garp is certainly a contender. I mean, come on here. So yeah, that's pretty much all we get there. After the Marineford War, he resigns from the Marines, sort of, kind of. He's still a Vice Admiral in name and position, but he's basically just an instructor now, teaching the younger generations, basically inspiring the younger generations to join the Marines. You gotta have your Uncle Sam kind of character there to rally the forces, and that's basically what Garp is. He's like the symbol of the Marines. You know, he's an old man who's wicked fucking strong, who fought against the Pirate King, and is still a high-ranking member of the Marines. So that's Garp. That's Garp to a T. Now on to Sengoku. Now Sengoku and Garp have a relationship together. So I already said that Garp at one point he was going to be an admiral around his youth, but he just chose to stay as a vice admiral. At this point, Sengoku...
Man, my hand hurt, bro. I was playing Extreme Co-op, man.
Were pretty much equivalent, you know, rank isn't everything.
I mean, we can play. I can play some more.
So they basically worked together a lot back in the day.
Fuck you, G-Master.
Sengoku eventually became the fleet admiral.
I do got that
of
dent,
the
dent.
Marines. Now, Sengoku is not as loose.
And Flamer, bruh, do you got the characters to do Tower of Ordeals Floor 20? I watched your stream, bro, and you was like, man, I ain't doing that shit, man. Fuck all that, blah, blah, blah.
I believe the one time that he was really against it, or like he's starting to see, you know, how corrupted the world government is. I'm sure he's had to deal with that a lot of times in his life, but he just had to kind of bite his tongue. After Marineford, when Impel Down was breached, of course, you had Blackbeard take all of the level 6, well, not all, but a few of the level 6 prisoners, like, you know, San Juan Wolf and Katarina Devon. You had Blackbeard take those guys out, but you also had a bunch of the other level 6 prisoners that managed to escape as well. And then Sengoku's like, oh, good lord, okay, put out bounty posters, we gotta get this fucking locked down. And they're like, no, we can't do that because the Gorosei said we're keeping a lid on this. We can't let the world know that we let all these level 6 prisoners escape.
Wow.
And then the Marines, and then Sengoku was pissed. Sengoku was like, I don't give a damn. You know, so it's in that situation he seemed to be going against the Gorosei a little bit, like, fuck the Gorosei, I don't care, man, I have a job to do. It's an odd position, that of Fleet Admiral, because you're given the, like, on the surface, it's like you're the strongest, like you have the most authority. You can control all the Marines in the entire world. But at the same time, you're still fucking subservient to 5 fucking old farts sitting in a room together, and whatever they say still goes. Sengoku
Vice
also
Lord,
still has
yeah.
one more authority figure of Kong.
You just told me
This
try
person
him,
named
have it.
briefly.
Think I'm
Kong
either
was
in
the
that
Fleet
model
Admiral
walk.
back during
I
the
can't
Ed
to
War
do
incident,
it.
like 20 years
Nigga,
ago,
what?
when Sengoku was still an admiral, and now Kong
Visor
is now
Lord.
the world
I'm assuming
government
you mean
commander-in-chief.
Ichigo.
And there was
Yeah.
actually like a hierarchy laid out on how
Yeah,
this all
bro.
works.
You gotta have
It's
the
like
items though, bro.
Sengoku is the one
Your items
who
gotta be
controls
on
the
point. Your
Marines.
DOS game gotta be on point.
Kong is now
You gotta
the
be
one,
on point with
the
that shit,
world
bro. No
government
lacking.
commander-in-chief. He's the one that controls the
It can be
Marines.
done.
He's
You
above
just can't be
Sengoku. He
lacking,
also
bro. Like,
controls like the Cypher Pole agents.
have
and
Act do
like
that shit. I know. I hear you. Have
Kong,
Act do it. He did it for
Goro
Arya.
Say, one of
Knocked
the
it out,
true
coach.
heads of the world government. That actually call all the shots ultimately. So yeah. So Sengoku, he has power, but he still has superior.
Get hit through the phone. Whole phone, bro. Jeez. Just know that insurance go crazy. The deductible. That's 200. That deductible tight if you on contract at least. I don't know about
Sengoku also
prepaid.
does not appear in the story all that much. He first appears at Alabasta at the meeting with the warlords.
I'm trying to get my girl to 100 BBS tickets, man.
Like that.
Trying.
A few more times. Usually comedy relief with Garp.
Cause I'm 100% sure.
It's always usually funny with them because
Not 99%. Let me not say 100%. I say 99% chance she gonna skip
I'm
mid-month.
this chill guy. I basically do what I want to do.
Which means she would have some in
then you have
since
Sengoku, whose
Ichigo,
position
some
is
step
really
ups.
serious. He's the fleet admiral, and he's the one that has to kind of answer for all this shit every time Luffy decides to blow up a fucking government flag.
You lost your restart?
Or defeat a fucking warlord.
Damn. How'd you do that, G-Master?
Come on, man, discipline your grandson.
Jeez, bro, you had the fucking time.
Crazy. I did like that onion.
I wish you could have recorded that, though. I would love to watch that, bro. Got to the last room with Shinji, only 27 seconds, though. I need more time to catalog Bison. I should try that shit. Do you need Link Lost G-Meister to do it with Shinji? And what build? I want to try that shit. She got 86.
Really quick. He's the one that actually relayed the information that, hey, Ace is actually Roger's son. And,
She got 86 BBS tickets. I'm getting there, coach. Y'all see the spice? I can't wait to see her summon this shit. I hope she either get Senkaimon. I mean, not Senkaimon either. Hope she get that Power Aizen or Hime. She need or Hime or Izuru for her Retsu. She definitely need one of them. Aizen. Tag Team Toast would be nice for her. Tag Team Kaku would be nice. What she needed Soul because for Heart. Just that's Tag Team Izuru too though. So I mean, who else does she need? Her red character is good. Speed, technique. I gotta check the album. I know she needs some more spice though.
Sengoku has the mythical human fruit. Well, okay, what variation of human can be considered mythical?
Why Shinji 10, 6 zeros? Then you got the slots too? You only need to be one slot to 10. I had tension till peel bait, full attack. Got it down 52 seconds. Fuck on some trigger.
I mean, come on, man.
I should try that shit, bro.
We don't even know the whole story about how that works.
What links though, G-Meister? What links? Senkaimon links?
But remember, I should also bring up, remember back when, okay, before we knew about that, before we knew that and by the way, Sengoku's epitaph was the Buddha, but we didn't think it would be taken literally. When Chopper's human fruit was revealed, I think somebody sent an SPS question in, like, hey, Oda, what would happen if a human would have eaten the human fruit? And Oda just replied with, like, oh, well, they wouldn't change it all, but they would just become enlightened. And it's funny because Sengoku is a human that ate the human fruit by a different, be it a different model, but he did become the Buddha, who is, it's the Buddha, it's enlightenment, so that's cool. In terms of what it actually does, it makes Sengoku grow to huge size, emit light from all around him whenever he goes in this form. So obviously there's an increase in strength and power when you're this giant fucking golden statue here. And also he can output shock waves. We saw that when he fought against Blackbeard. Garp and Sengoku kind of tag team Blackbeard a little bit there, and Sengoku can kind of just like extend out his palm and just boom, and like these giant shockwaves will just emit, and really fucked up Whitebeard a little. I mean, fucked up Blackbeard there. Fucked up Blackbeard who fucked up Whitebeard. Yeah. So after the war, though, similar to Garp, Sengoku decided to step down from the Fleet Admiral position, and he is now a General Inspector. So he's still in the Marines. His hair turned white just from the 2-year time skip, I guess, just from stress and all that shit.
That's why you're not supposed to get hit, bro. You gotta dodge.
And so he's much more laid back now. We only saw him in Film Z and in the recent story arc, Dressrosa. He appears at the end of Dressrosa to kind of mop up the whole shit.
Here, let my phone cool down a little bit. I'll play a little bit more extreme card, man. My hand hurt a little bit, so I want to take a break. I think I spent too much time playing Senkaimon. Locked up my fucking fingers, my hands.
But yeah, it's much more laid back now, and also had confrontation with Law during Dressrosa.
You know Neo, bitch.
So,
Nigga Neo was dodging.
I'm not going to go super into the backstory.
Bro, that's crazy, G Maestro, bro. 52 seconds, bro. That's so much time, bro. I mean, you must have been fucking some shit up, bro.
He was found by Sengoku while he was still an admiral, and so Sengoku basically became the maternal adopted father.
You got Ekman's rookie issue. That's 2 links to level 10, though. I'm pretty sure a level 10 link slot, full stamina boost link, is better than 1 off-color Senkaimon link. From what I can tell, it's better. It has to be a full stamina boost link, though.
Sengoku was like relaying with Roshinate. Roshinate was undercover as Corazon to infiltrate the Doflamingo pirates. Eventually, Roshinate gets killed by Doflamingo, and Sengoku is kind of left to grieve about that. So, at the end of Dressrosa, Law, once again, Law used to be a warlord, but at this point he was kind of defected from that because he had an ally with Luffy. Law meets with Sengoku. And even though Sengoku he's the former fleet admiral, he's still in the Marine, and he could bring Law in for being a traitorous warlord and a pirate, a very strong pirate. Sengoku doesn't do that. He listens to Law, probably because of sentimentality for Roshinate and everything, because Roshinate was basically Law's older brother figure.
How'd you lose your restart, though, bro? Did you even get a chance to even use it, like try it out to see if you can get like the burn the proc? This imagine if you proc burn and then you get hit. Whole lot of restarting. Didn't restart in time? Oh, you waited too long. Oh yeah, that happened to me too. I had a good time and got cocky and with the swipe and then swiping, it was over.
That's Sengoku and Garp, and that's their past. I mean, I think we're gonna get to see a few more flashbacks from them, maybe at some point. I think later on in the story, we're actually gonna get like a flashback. We're gonna get a flashback arc where we see like we're actually Roger. We take like how we did with Nolan in Skypiea, how Nolan was like the main character of his flashback arc. We're gonna get the same thing with Roger, and we might get to see a little bit more fights with Sengoku and Garp. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is because they are part of the older generation. Oh, I know how old people are in manga, right? You understand how this usually works. Okay, like you have Jiraiya in Naruto. Jiraiya shows up, really badass older character, teaches Luffy, Jiraiya teaches Naruto all this ninjutsu shit, and he's really badass, and then he dies. So yeah. I'm hoping that doesn't happen with Garp. I'm hoping it's not at some point in the story Garp ends up dying. Although he is a D, and the Ds don't have a great track record for survival. But yeah, we don't know much more about Garp's life. We don't know who he was married to or anything.
Had that tooth tingling. Hey, after this one, I'll do some more extreme co-op. My hand feel a little bit better.
But I think it's also going to be relevant there. Maybe Garp's wife, just to make sure there's like a thing in his past, like how Ace's mom really reported as being rogue. much stuff with Rogue, but it was interesting that that's her name and how she cared for her son, and she was also a carrier of the Willow Key as well. So it's interesting, yeah. And I also, isn't Garth the only one of the Marines that has the Willow Key aside from, well, Saul had it, Saul died. I think he's the only one currently in the Marines that carries the Willow Key with him. Yeah. So it might be interesting to know, because the Willow Key, you know, it was stated by Cortazon like they're the enemies of God, which of course refer to the enemies of the world nobles, the enemies of Cortazon, and Garth is a Marine. Which is why maybe so many carriers of the D family line want to go against the government. Roger went against the government, Teach, Luffy, Ace, you know, Garth's like the only one. He's a D, but he's still holding still to the cause of the Marines. So, like, know a little bit about that. That seems like an interesting little spin there. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm really pumped for the next time. I'm really pumped because we're going to be getting into discussions on the Straw Hat. So that's right, we're going to be getting straight into that. It's going to be pretty fucking cool. We're going to start with the best Straw Hat, let's be honest here, the most powerful. Next episode, Straw Hat discussions, God, who sucked. Oh shit, alright, video. Who are we talking about this week? The light guy? No, the ice guy, okay. Gotta get in character. Hey everybody, it's Techie101 here. Welcome back to another One Piece discussion, the Admiral series. And this week we are discussing a pretty chill dude, both figuratively and extremely literally. This is Admiral Aokiji, also known as Kuzan, and he is probably my favorite admiral. Actually, scratch that. He is my favorite admiral. I did say last time that Akainu was sort of underrated.
Akainu.
Getting as much credit as he deserves, but Aokiji is my personal favorite. And I think he's a lot of people's favorite. I think he's a fan. Some Kuzan. You know what? I don't usually.
Alright. Hey, let me do one more. Then we can go to Action Clock. One more. Damn. Just some brushes. My girl got like 50 brushes. She don't really need them. I need to re-roll some shit though. I'll probably put on my second account, or main account later, my second account.
And that is the Hihei no Mi, or the Chill. His ability is to freeze things. He can do this by literally turning his body into basically an ice sculpture. But also he can freeze anything around him, whether it be a living being or even dry land.
Toshio versus Akiji. Just know, I got Kuzan, cuz.
So he can never really be defeated.
What's up, King?
By
Guess
a devil fruit weakness, the standard devil fruit weakness, unless you somehow manage to knock him unconscious and then chucked him in the water. That's like the only way you'd be able to do it, because even if you just like manage to push him overboard into the ocean, he's like, oh no, I'm gonna die, and he can just freeze like a ridiculous amount of water and just let it set. You know, he did this, you know, in Long Ring Longland. He froze miles of ocean, like in literally just that. So it's cool. And you know what? To just cement this in even further, you know what his primary mode of transportation is when going from island to island? Is it like a battleship? I don't know. He's an admiral. No, it's a fucking bicycle.
Chill out, Johnny.
He gets on a bicycle and then uses his devil fruit power to make like a thin strip of ice, and then just rides on that. If he was seriously concerned about, oh no, I might fall in the water and die, then that would not be his primary mode of transportation. So he can just freeze shit like that. Alright, so pretty intense ability there. I always also, you have to take shit with a grain of salt in all of manga and the One Piece universe, but I always find it weird that it's ice is frozen water, right? His ability does not turn him into water and then freeze the water into ice. His ability literally just goes from flesh and blood to ice sculpture, which I find that kind of hard to grasp, but it's One Piece, okay, fine, whatever. Ice is, I guess, its own element. It's cool, it's fine. Anyway,
it's cool. It's like,
Aokiji, when he was first mentioned in the story, he was actually the first admiral to be introduced. He showed up at the end of Long Ring Longland. Tongue twisters, Kuba, Oda. I'm gonna say Kubo for the end of time. Forgive me, Oda. He shows up there, and this is something that always bugged me. He shows up, and you know he's pretty lazy. He's just sitting there on the ground.
Fuck you! I should suck my.
And the Straw Hats approach him, and after Robin notices who he is, that he's one of the high admirals, one of the strongest.
Corn got booed.
All he says was, "Oh man, I was just sent to see where Nico Robin was, and as we assumed, she was part of your crew. So now I'm just here to to kind of like put it down that, you know.
Hey, Mid-My banner is not looking good.
That is fucking weird. That is not why he went there. Think about that. Does that make any sense?
They basic.
You have the Marines.
Cayenne look dope. I like Renji's special. His special dope as hell. That's what he did against Byakuya. And I like his first too. It's just I like Cayenne that.
The Straw Hats and just confirm whether or not Nico Robin is on their crew. You know the Straw Hat Pirates.
You getting all the pots.
Captain literally just took out
Yunga.
And is a major threat to the world government and the Marines, and becoming more of a threat every day.
I don't need the characters. I wonder why they made another Last Ditch Survival link though. That's interesting.
Check and make sure that the
Got me
demon child,
curious.
Nico Robin, another character that would have the ability to end the world with her knowledge of poneglyphs, just go and make sure that they're together so we can add up the bounties, we can get everything straight. You know, because we like to have good bookkeeping.
I like Cayenne Nastring. I like Renji special. I like his first, and then Yumi.
There's no other way you can look at that.
I don't think I like nothing about him. Maybe his second and his Nastring. That's it though.
Them from like a distance or something. It's like, okay, sir, Nico Robin's on the crew. I'll add up the bounty.
Hey, I think we might end him up. Might be Kenpachi, bro. Think about it. We got a new Yumichika. We got a resurrected Ikaku, resurrected Kenpachi. We haven't had a Kenpachi since Shikai Kenpachi. Just saying. In the month, 13 Court Guard Squad, Kenpachi, and Retsu, and then Toshiro. 13 Court Guard Scumless. No, Arya. Not no damn Kenpachi Yachuru. I'm talking about Zaraki. I don't call Retsu Yachuru Kenpachi.
I love the voice actors for both. Obviously, the Japanese is great. Jason Douglas in the Funimation dub does a great job with his voice.
What the fuck is that soy phone green arrow? Big DC finna sue. Huh? What you talking about, Uzi?
He's like, yeah, man, I'm just the ice dude.
That's my internet connection, nigga. My shit green. So you're just going to act like Byakuya doesn't need one. Oh yeah. That's right. 13 Court Guard Squad, Byakuya, Kenpachi, and then Retsu. My black.
Whitebeard summons a giant ass tsunami to sink all of Marineford. He's the first one. He's like, well, I guess I gotta do this, and he just gets up.
Ooh, hey Uzi, come bring a call with me, dog.
So he's not lazy as
they made it for full brain.
I think what he does when he's
What's up, David?
he's just lazy. It's like
It's my girlfriend account, bro. She probably gonna have about 2,300 come in on a month.
I mean, he is lazy. He sleeps a lot in that sense, but he's pretty strong, and we've seen time and time again throughout the series that
The flame rat, flamer dip, no chip. Cause he wanted to play extreme co-op. Now my nigga gone.
He's more moral.
Fuck it, I'm close this bitch.
Most moral out of all of the admirals.
Wait, I'll give it a little bit more time.
Fujitora and him might get along. You don't know, but Fujitora is also a pretty moral guy. But Fujitora has his own issues that we're gonna get to.
Oh, there's bomb guard. You see the new gameplay, Uzi? Niggas trash or no?
So I'm just not gonna do it.
I wonder if they would include 13 Court Guard Squad again in that banner.
Like the incident on Ohara. We had the past with Nico Robin and how the Buster Call was summoned. Aokiji was actually the one that apparently sent Cypherpole to Ohara to exterminate the archaeologists on that island and everything. He shows up and he does not capture Robin. He actually lets her go. He ends up, he kills Jaguar.
Spicy bar guy. No, don't leave.
Kill in quotations, because while Oda's track record with backstories on the Straw Hats always involves death.
They need that Shiro.
And then for dessert, more fucking death. I'm looking at how he killed Saul, and I'm just sitting there like, it doesn't seem like it was a confirmed kill, because what he does is he freezes.
Did nobody time your monk ass up? What you talking about?
And that's it. you know, like, because that's happened before. I mean, look what happened with Luffy. He froze Luffy solid, he froze Robin solid, and they were able to come back from that. They didn't die. If he froze Saul and then he like...
I remember I used to always try to get G my shit at VC. His ass would never do it.
That would be something.
I used to try
I'm
like
just saying, like, Saul is
relentlessly.
dead because given it's a backstory and, you know, Oda kills everybody in backstories, but I'm just saying it wasn't as
working me.
as other deaths.
She working me. Hey.
But yeah, Saul is probably dead. But you know, once again, Saul was one of Aokiji's friends. And
Pikachu.
yeah, it's just like he probably kind of gauges it to a sense like, what can I get away with here? You know, I can't really get away. I can't get away with not going to Marine Corps. I can't get away with not fighting Whitebeard, and I can't have the Marines just. I can't have Whitebeard show up and just.
Nigga, that's muscle,
destroy
nigga.
the entire freaking epicenter for justice in those worlds.
You know my nigga Yami ain't fat, nigga. That's muscle.
Do that. So you know he's still a Marine. He still believes that. You
Man,
know,
this bitch DC's wasting my soul
the
ticket.
whole general thing, piracy is a bad thing, but he judges it on a case-by-case basis. He doesn't do it like Akinu, where it's like if you're a pirate, you're an evil motherfucker. Now he does by a case-by-case basis, and we've seen that with the Straw Hats. You know, he's had plenty of discussions with the Straw Hats before, and you know, like they're pretty chill with him, and they you know, they don't, you know, they're not going to just go try to attack him.
Think everything the joke.
That one time they did that, but you know, like aside from that one point, you know, like when they met in Film Z, and I know Film Z is not canon, but you know, they met in Film Z, and they had a conversation. They were perfectly fine, you know. And this is one of the highest-ranking members of the Marines. In fact, the only reason that Luffy attacked him during Longland, that wasn't like, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you for the sake of your being an admiral, you know. It was because, you know, he said, we're gonna try to kill you. And this is right after he just froze an entire, like, a giant sea king in, like, 3 miles of ocean. And Aokiji's like, I think I gotta kill you guys. Or maybe it would be better if you just all disappeared right now. And Luffy, you know, was like, I'm not gonna let you do that. And Aokiji basically agreed, like, alright, if you fight me, I'll let your crew get away. And so that's the reason Luffy fought Aokiji there, even though he was probably aware that he wasn't going to win, that this guy's abilities is just on a whole other level. But yeah, so that's the reason the Straw Hats encountered him there. But, you know, other than that, I don't see, like, if the Straw Hats ever encounter Aokiji, you know, in the manga later down the line, I don't think they're going to be enemies. It's interesting because right now Aokiji is apparently allied with the Blackbeard pirates in some way. That's interesting. Get to that in a second, though. So let's talk about his defection. Let's talk about that. So, you know, they run into a Longland, and then he has a short cameo at the end of Eni's lobby where he's just like, you guys passed the test. He was talking to Robin, and then he leaves. We don't see him again majorly until, you know, at Marineford, where he contributes to the fight. Has a lot of cool fights there, you know, freezes the entire, you know, ocean and the tidal wave and the tsunami that, you know, Whitebeard summons. That was pretty cool. Has an encounter with Whitebeard where he almost dies. That was interesting. Had an encounter with Jozu. He froze Diamond Jozu. You know, Jozu lost an arm because of Aokiji. Afterwards, though, Sengoku steps down from being Fleet Admiral, and, you know, you have to pick a new Fleet Admiral. So Aokiji is recommended by Sengoku. And, you know, Sengoku even says this to Khan, like the commander-in-chief of the world government, you know, right below the Gorosei. He's like, I would recommend that Aokiji become the new Fleet Admiral. Akainu also wanted to be Fleet Admiral, so they had themselves a good old-fashioned fucking brawl to end all brawls. They duked it out on Punk Hazard. At the time, it was just this empty wasteland of an island. So they picked Punk Hazard, they went there. They fought for several days. Their battles eventually warped the entire island's climate itself. Half of Punk Hazard is now permanently covered in molten magma and volcanoes, and the other half is now frozen waste, a frozen Arctic tundra. Essentially, that I would feel that is the awakening of their devil fruits, as I said with Akainu. That's like they awakened their devil fruits and permanently changed the very climate of an island. You might think that ice would not stand up against magma all that much. You think, you know, magma would be the clear winner.
No, I didn't know that either, bro. Killywood got the spice, no girl.
Stronger than yours, so therefore my devil fruit's the natural enemy of yours. Therefore, I automatically win. It's skill with that devil fruit power. So they fought for a long time, and it ended up with Aokiji getting some serious battle damage. He had a huge scar some burns on his right arm and right shoulder. He lost his left leg, which he now has to use. Not a big deal because he could just use his powers to create a prosthetic, so that's not a big issue. But he resulted in a lot of damage there, and he ended up losing. Akinu did not kill him because he does have a sense of honor, and he realized, okay, Aokiji, you did a lot of stuff for the Marines, you did a lot of service, so
Nah,
you're
bro.
clearly not a lazy guy. If,
I need to.
You felt like you've contributed enough to the Marines that I'm not going
Actually, we can do that on my girl account. I didn't do it on her account yet.
The Admiral Aokiji defected the Marines and just went about his own little adventures. It's funny because in film Z, when Brooke asks him, oh, you're not an admiral anymore, so what are you? And Aokiji's just like,
Wow.
I'm a hero for just. No, that sounds stupid. I don't know. What do you think I am?
What's up, Chris?
A vagrant? I don't know, but I will say one thing. He has an adorable camel. It's a penguin. The name of the penguin is Camel, so he has an adorable penguin. Yeah. So he just kind of travels around the ocean now on a giant penguin, just getting into adventures. Pretty cool, actually. He shows up at Punk Hazard at the end to stop Doflamingo from killing Smoker.
Doofy.
This was a badass scene. I love this scene so much. One of my
Doofy.
favorite moments of One Piece. Like, if I was gonna make like top 10 One Piece moments from the entire series, this would be on here easily. It's those matchups that you get that you just want to see more of. Be like, because this is one of those things where he shows up and they have a little scuffle, but eventually Doflamingo retreats, and you're sitting there just like, oh, I wanted to see more of that. It would have been so cool. More ways than one, it would have been cool. Aokiji has a relationship with Smoker. He says, you're my friend. Smoker was actually the one that asked Aokiji to send him to G5 in the New World. So they get along fairly well. Maybe Aokiji trained Smoker at some point in his past. I don't know. Oh, by the way, we should do a discussion video on smoking. Yeah, that would be good. I didn't even think about him. I forget about him a lot, honestly. But
I don't smoke no gas, nigga.
He shows up, stops Doflamingo, once again freezes Doflamingo solid. Doflamingo just breaks out of it though, and I guess Doflamingo realizes I ain't got no time for this, or I'm not gonna. He either realized that I could win, but it would take a lot of time and a lot of effort, or he realized he wasn't going to win at all and just booked it the fuck out of there. I like to think it's the latter. I like to think that Aokiji could have killed Doflamingo. It would have been a little bit of a tough fight, but I think he could have killed him easily. Right now, he's allied with the Blackbeard Pirates. We know this. We don't know a lot about this, but we know this is the case. During Dressrosa, when Luffy overheard Jesus Burgess talking over the Den Den Mushi, he was talking to Blackbeard. They were talking about Aokiji, and Burgess is like, we can't trust him. And Blackbeard is like, well, we really can't trust Shiru either, but, whatever. I think it's okay to hear him out, whatever. Later on, the Gorosei confirmed that, yes, Aokiji is now allied with the Blackbeard Pirates in some way. I don't know what that implies. Don't know what that means exactly. There's really nothing about Aokiji that makes that seem like a big, like whoa. Like, him and Blackbeard were always enemies. Like, Blackbeard, he was a pirate on Whitebeard's ship. He killed Whitebeard, but Aokiji never really had a connection with Whitebeard or anything. There's no reason why he should care about Whitebeard being dead, or Ace. Didn't really care anything about Ace. So Aokiji joining the Blackbeards, it's not like this big, oh shit kind of moment. He must be like an undercover agent or something. Not necessarily. I don't see anything that really ties the Blackbeard Pirates to Aokiji, where it would be like, Aokiji just would never join them because they did something to him a long time ago. See, I can't like Blackbeard did something to Shanks, but Shanks and Aokiji have really no connection so far as we know. So I like to see where that's going to go. Maybe get some updates on that. He did have a cover page. He had a cover page during the 500 Million Man arc where he's just hanging out with his penguin. That was it. So that was interesting. Aokiji, I feel like, I don't want to say, like, he's gonna... Fine, I'll just say this, okay? It's gonna sound weird, but I really hope this happens. Probably not. I really hope he allies with the Straw Hats at one point, and they get into some big battle, and it involves Aokiji, like, allying, working with the Straw Hats. That might be kind of difficult, considering that he's working with the Blackbeard Pirates now, but once again, we don't know the whole story behind that. We don't know if that's going to turn out to something. But I really would... I just want to see the Straw Hats interact with him again. I want to see him interact with Robin again. you know, because he let Robin go back in Ohara. And, you know, we had that moment where after, at the post-Enies Lobbies arc, when they're all celebrating on Water 7, Aokiji shows up, and Aokiji's like, you guys passed the test, you know? So I think he understands, you know, Robin is not an evil person. Robin is not like that person that's going to destroy the world as all the Marines are afraid of. You know, he judges people by their characters. If you're like an evil motherfucker like Doflamingo, he will attack you and try to kill you, you know, because, you know, you're attacking one of his friends and shit. You know, I don't know what his thoughts really were. I mean, he said about Aki Inu, he said, you know, like, absolute justice makes people do some crazy shit. You know, probably didn't phrase it that way, but that's basically how he phrased it. He did not really agree a lot with Aki Inu and his way of doing things. But, you know, he's defected from the Marines now, so that's going to have some hot water with them. He's a big player in the world, a really big player, probably on the same lines of, like the people that the Gorosei really worry about. The Gorosei, every time we see the Gorosei meeting, they're always talking about the people that you have to be, like, the most concerned about in the world, like Dragon, and Blackbeard now that he's a Yonko, and all the other Yonko, and shit like Marco and the remaining Whitebeard pirates, you know, keeping tabs on all this shit, and, you know, the Monkey D. Luffy and everything, as well as Aokiji in this instance. So he's a big player, and it's probably going to tie into something. I don't know how that's going to go about. And keep in mind also that the Blackbeard pirates recently attacked Baltigo. They recently attacked the Revolutionary Army headquarters, so I wonder if Aokiji was part of that at all. If he's just trying to gain the trust of the Blackbeards, or he's trying to do something else, I don't know. I don't think there's really much else to discuss about Aokiji right now, other than he's probably the most human out of all the Marines, as I stated. Pretty cool, very likable guy, and I hope that if there's ever, let me put it this way, if he doesn't have a confrontation like where he helps the Straw Hats out, I hope that when the world government eventually collapses, which is probably going to happen at some point in the story, near the end, the world government's going to collapse, and there's going to be this whole, I'm not saying the Marines are going to go away, but the world government...
Damn, nigga don't want to play Epic Rage, bro? Not even the bums?
Because it's corrupted as fuck.
Fuck it, let's try to 3 this shit.
That's going to be a big climactic moment in the One Piece series. I hope Aokiji's part of that. Maybe he'll have a rematch with Aki Inu.
Nigga, you don't got BBS, nigga. Monk eye, line eye. Nigga, you don't got BBS. Why you ain't join Twitty? Monkey's always trying to climb trees. Go ahead.
Personality. What do you think about his double fruit ability? What do you think about him maybe his allying with the Blackbeard pirate? His relationship with the Straw Hats? You know, where his frozen icy trail is going to lead in the One Piece universe. He's just kind of like a wandering, kind of like a Ronin, you know, the wandering samurai. I mean, he can make a sword. He makes just takes a bunch of blades of grass and he freezes them instantly and makes a fucking ice sword. So he's a wandering ice samurai with a giant-ass fucking penguin. You know, and he's just having all these crazy adventures on the ocean. That's pretty damn cool. I like to think of him like that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Next week will be Kizaru.
Kaina.
Hey everybody, Techie101 here, and we have talked long enough about those filthy, lawless pirates in past videos. You know, we talked about them and their Jolly Rogers and their unique...
What you talking about, Arya? Ain't no chappies.
Superhuman abilities given them by magic fruits and all that garbage. Now it's time we talk about the real heroes.
Oh, that's a clap.com Davis.
The Marines. Here are the ones that are going to put an end to all this piracy shit. Who's at the top of the Marines? The current fleet admiral, former admiral, one of the powerhouses, one of the strongest characters in this series. I'll tell you who, Sakazuki. Also known as the Red Dog. This guy is the ultimate hero of the One Piece universe. He's going to wipe out all the pirates, commanding all of his Marines. They're going to take out the Yonko.
I don't got my glasses on, Arya.
Roll over the Grand Line in the New
No
World,
blind shit.
And justice will reign supreme in this perfect utopia. The world government in control of the world. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so obviously, you and I both know that that's bullshit. But you also have to remember, in the context of the One Piece universe, to like the most of the population, like the normal civilians and everything like that, that's the truth. The Marines are the good guys. The pirates are the bad guys. This series follows criminals. Like this is the main cast of this series are all criminals. Not really, but in the government side they are, and the world government, they're in control of the world, and the Marines are one of their three superpowers. You know, you have the three superpowers that kind of maintain things in the world. Actually, the world government's not really part of that. It's the Marines, it's the Warlords, and it's the Yonko. And then you have the world government that's in control of the Marines. You know, they're the ones they're the three powers that kind of maintain a somewhat unstable balance, but do maintain a balance in this world. If the pirates take over the world, it'll be mass anarchy. But if the world government takes over the world, it'll be something not that great either. Before we get into talking about Aki Inu, though, I need to discuss a very important theme in the One Piece universe. This is something that Oda uses quite a bit, and it's an interesting little duality. It makes you question morals and all that shit. And that's, of course, justice, the idea of justice. You see it emblazoned on the back of all high-ranking, Marine officers. You see it all over Marine Corps, and the Marines are always talking about it. You know, justice. We have to uphold justice. What is justice? Well, justice is painted with a very broad brush in the real world. It's something that's somewhat subjective. The general premise is there are laws in the world. Anyone that would go against those laws must be punished to a degree that is fair. Justice is fair to those laws being broken. For instance, if you kill someone, we might have to look at, like, the death penalty. If you steal a pack of Oreos from Walmart, you know, you don't look at it like, all right, you need to die for that, you know, because that was pretty bad.
Fuck out of here. You tripping.
You know, you punish evildoers depending on the crime that they've committed. That's how justice is supposed to work in our world. In the One Piece universe, it's not like that at all. Here's how justice works in the One Piece universe. The world government is in control of the world, obviously, so they're the ones that get to determine what justice is. They're the ones that say what justice is, and what is evil and what is good. And they say piracy is evil. So all pirates are criminals. Every single one. Doesn't matter what their goals are, doesn't matter what they do. The second you raise a Jolly Roger, you're scum, you need to die. That's what the general premise is.
Ain't no pinky.
mercy for pirates, right? And that's, of course, as we see throughout the stories, that's not true. Not all pirates are horrible. Okay, most of them are, but look at the Straw Hats. The Straw Hats are not going around raping and murdering, you know, burning islands down. Okay, Nami is kind of a, you know, she's a burglar. She steals shit, but, you know, whatever. That's not, you know, whatever. No, their overall goal is, you know, to live out their dreams. They want to go out to the sea, have an adventure, and make their dreams a reality. You know, Luffy wants to find the One Piece. Nami wants to draw a map of the world. Zoro wants to become the greatest swordsman. Sanji just wants to find the All Blue. You know, compared to a lot of other pirates, you know, these are very innocent dreams. You have other pirate crews like the Heart Pirates, like Law's group. They're not trying to do anything. You know, they're not going to islands and killing people indiscriminately just because they're pirates and they're drunk on their own fucking power. But for every good pirate crew, there's at least 100 that are like that. You know, look at Kid's pirate crew. You know, that Kid went to an island, burned it down, and like crucified like all the civilians and shit. Like that stuff needs to stop, and that's how the civilians mostly see pirates. And they see like, okay, the Marines are justice. The problem is it gets taken way too far. It's this iron grip, because the world government is corrupted. We already know that. The world government is corrupted as shit. And they're the ones that control what is just in this world. That's just a recipe for disaster right there. When you have the Marines, which they're ultimate fighting force, the ones that
Nigga Bartolomeo got them fangs.
Justice. And a lot of the high-ranking Marines, and a lot of the Marines in general, have their own take on justice, their own way they view justice. And what's the scariest variety though of justice is as absolute justice. And as Kuzan stated, Aokiji, absolute justice sometimes drives a man insane, and that is he was referring to Sakazuki. He was referring to Sakazuki there. So I think it's really easy to look at Aki Inu and say he's evil. He's a horrible person for what he's done in the past and his actions, you know. And I think that's very indicative of what he did during Oha. Let's start with that.
Chill, Rick.
The series we see Aki Inu. We didn't get his full image or anything like that. He was a vice admiral at the time, but we saw his actions and what he did. And I think it's very easy to look at, okay, he's an evil motherfucker, and you know, he's the villain of the story, and yet he's the commander of apparently the most righteous fighting group in the story, according to most of the civilians. So during the backstory with Nico Robin, you know, Nico Robin is from an island, Ohara, which is in the West Blue, and they didn't do anything wrong. They're not an island of like thieves or murderers or anything like that. They were scholars on this island. They're the ones that collected all this information, all this knowledge around the world. They had this huge tree that existed for 5,000 years, the tree of knowledge,
What's up,
collecting
Ghost?
all these books and everything. They were archaeologists that just wanted to study the world. And however, this is a problem because knowledge is dangerous to the world government, because the world government knows something happened in the Void Century where the world government came to power, and the information in that Void Century is very dangerous. Because if someone figures it out and if someone spreads the word, the world government might not have an iron grip on the world anymore. They might actually get overthrown. So that's the bad thing, right? So the world government said it's an outlaw. They outlawed it. You're not allowed to study the Void Century. You're not allowed to study the poneglyphs. You're not allowed to try to read the poneglyphs. If you attempt to do any such thing, you're an evildoer, and justice must reign supreme. You must pay for your actions, which basically means you must die. So they found out that there was these archaeologists on Ohara studying the poneglyphs and doing all this illegal shit. So they said, all right, Buster Call. Buster Call is the ultimate marine, hammer down, fucking nail on this coffin. Send an entire fleet of battleships led by 5 vice admirals, and they just nuke the island. Nothing is left. They blow it up. They keep bombarding it with cannonballs and bombardment until it's just fire and ash, and they burn the ash. That's a Buster Call. Until the island itself is like nothing but a wasteland. They care so much about the Buster Call, and it's like it's absolute authority. They will even initiate a Buster Call on their own judiciary island. This is an island that is like one of the most important places to the world government and to the Marines, but they don't care. If a Buster Call is summoned, they'll blow it up. It's like the ultimate authority. So, a Buster Call was summoned. Aki Inu was one of the vice admirals at the time that led it. Now, it was the archaeologists that were the ones that broke the law here. So they're the ones that need to die. But remember, Ohara, it had normal civilians on it too, just normal women, children, elderly people that had nothing to do with the archaeologists, had nothing to do with studying the Void Century. So there was an evacuation ship that got all those people off. But then Aki Inu was like, if there's even a 1% chance, fuck that, if there's even a 0.1% chance that any of the archaeologists could have snuck on that boat, the whole mission was for nothing. Okay, sink the evacuation ship. Women, children, elderly people, completely innocent civilians, blow it up, destroy it. Which I think is a little excessive, Aki Inu. No, justice must reign supreme. That's his brand of justice, absolute justice. Now, given what that's pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. Just killing an entire island's worth of innocent civilians just because there's a chance.
Damn it.
Just a chance.
I set up too far.
That one of the archaeologists could have gotten on that ship. That is his brand of justice, and that's messed up. You look at that and it's like, that's evil, that's horrible. Given how Oda works, though, and given how he sets up characters, I think it's fairly fair to say that at some point in the story, we're going to get a backstory for Aki Inu, and we're going to find out what happened to him. Something happened to him as a child where he adopted this sense of absolute justice.
Damn, I couldn't move quick enough.
Not when he was a child, but something
Play it bad.
That's how Oda usually does things. But yeah, he is basically the ultimate. He's the one that does not care who you are. It's actually almost poetic in a sense. He becomes justice. He removes all senses of sympathy and empathy, and the only morality he has is the morality that is given to him by his higher ups in the world government. He views the world government, that's the ultimate authority. Whatever order they give me, doesn't matter what it is, I'm going to carry it out. This is the kind of motherfucker where if the world government says, you need to kill that baby because it's a threat to the world government, Sakazuki would be like, alright, we'll break out the marshmallows, it's going to be toasty. That's the kind of guy he is. He just doesn't seem to have any sense of freaking empathy for anybody, So it's like, it's poetic. He removes all senses of who he is as a person, as a human being, and he just becomes a hardened shell. That's just like a robot in a sense, that just carries out the symbol of justice. He becomes justice incarnate. That is Aki Inu to a T. Getting a little bit heated up here. Heated up. Okay, well that's a good segue. Let's talk about his devil fruit. So, as the Red Dog, he was actually the last of the admirals to, we found out what his devil fruit was. But we saw how, it was interesting in terms of theories, because we had the epitaphs of each one of the admirals. Aokiji was the blue pheasant, Kizaru was the yellow monkey, and we saw how, Aokiji can control ice, blue, cool. Kizaru can control
The rewards for this is eyes, Ghost.
So then we have Red Dog, Aki Inu, and we're thinking, oh, red, okay, what could that be? And I remember reading a lot of theories that he had like a blood fruit. I think that was pretty bad. But no, his ability is magma. It's That's the Magu Magu no Mi. And it's probably, in terms of just straight up physical power, probably makes him the strongest in the Marines in terms of physical ability. In terms of physical destruction, I guess I should say. Kizaru is obviously the fastest, no question about that. And there's other characters in the Marines we don't know about yet. We don't know their full capabilities yet and everything. Sengoku, we don't know everything he can do, what his full extent is in his Buddha form. Garp, of course, we haven't really seen him fight super seriously in the series, of course. But right now, in terms of Devil mastery, hockey,
Yeah,
destructive
David, you be
power,
lacking, bro.
it's
Tripping.
Akinu all the way. It's Akinu all the way. So, his Devil Fruit, I mean, it's pretty
Hit you with the skip, no me.
He has the power of, like, the core of the earth at his disposal. It's a greater Devil Fruit than the Mera no Mi that Ace had. Devil Fruits have, like, different, like, superior fruits and inferior fruits. Not to say that makes them necessarily stronger, but there's, like how Mrs. Valentine's Day had the kilo fruit, so she can control her weight. And then you have Maka Vice, who had the ton fruit, which is like just a superior version of that. But it all comes down to training at the end of the day. So, Ace had, fire, and then, he was, punched right through the stomach by Akainu, who had magma, so it was just superior. Magma is more superior to fire, so that's how Ace still got damaged, even though he was, intangible at the moment. On top of that, Akainu also has hockey. He's one of the strong. He is the top-ranking Marine right now. There are ranks above him. Like Kong is like the commander-in-chief of like the world government's military expanse and shit like that. But right beyond Kong is the Gorosei. So he's like ranked number 3 right now. He's like there's him number 3, and then Kong is number 2, and then they got the Gorosei, the heads of the world government, the ones that control the entire world essentially. So he's pretty high up there. Controls all the other admirals, controls the ranks of Marines and shit. This guy he's large and in charge. All right. Now, the first time we see him actually fight in the story is during Marineford, of course. We have that moment where Jozu takes this. He rips out this huge chunk of ice, the size of a goddamn mountain, like dwarfs. It's like the size of Marineford itself, and he chucks it at Akainu, and Akainu just stands up and then uses his Devil Fruit ability, Great Eruption, just turns his fist into magma and just melts all the ice at once. And that's how we learned his Devil Fruit ability, just how dangerous this guy is. Of course, we have the moment where he kills Ace. That was a pretty epic moment there. He was manhandled by White.
Hey, David, don't believe this dude Rigbo, bro. He fucking trolling. He lying, bro. Rig, don't be trolling the homie.
The One Piece fandom, at least a little bit, because people are saying like, yeah, man, Shanks can take out Akainu, no problem. Any of the Yonko can take out Akainu. Do you guys remember this? Do you guys remember this? Whitebeard, not just ordinary Whitebeard. Granted, Whitebeard, I mean, he's pretty banged up there. This was right after Ace died. Whitebeard is in a fit of rage. He's like 110% pissed off. Hockey-infused Gura just slams right into the side of fucking Akainu and just quake bubble and just knocks him into the freaking ground. Akainu gets back up after this. He gets back up. He has like a few broken ribs and shit, but he gets back up and he's relatively uninjured. He's not like, he doesn't lose an arm or anything like that. He's not critically injured. He gets like a badass scar maybe. That's it. Like, holy shit. No, the scar.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's incredible. I'm sorry, but even if Whitebeard was heavily injured there, you take a Gura hockey-infused punch from Whitebeard right into the fucking rib. I mean, and you get back up from that. You continue to fight after that. He doesn't get taken out of the fight. Gets right back up, not right back up, but he gets back up and just continues the pursuit of Luffy. You got mad respect for me right there, man. You got mad respect for me right there. I mean, that is incredible. He's also the one that dealt most of the heavy damage to Whitebeard. Magma is pretty damn powerful. So even if you do have hockey and armament going on, Magma's probably gonna fight. It's like one of the strongest natural forces the world has to offer. So, he's punching holes straight through Whitebeard, which is not just a testament for his power, but also a testament for Whitebeard being able to stand after getting a magma hole punched right through his freaking chest cavity. But yeah, after the war, has a fight, and there's a moment where Sengoku steps down as the fleet admiral, and you have to pick a new fleet admiral. And so Sengoku recommends Aokiji as the new admiral, who has like the exact opposite. You know, Aki Inu is absolute justice all the way, and Kuzan or Aokiji's, his is lazy justice, as he puts it. It's like the ultimate, it's like the opposites, you know, working together, not just figuratively, also literally, ice and magma. So they go and they do get out on Punk Hazard. They pick Punk Hazard, which at the time was just like a wasteland island, a deserted island. They fight on there, they fight on Punk Hazard, and because of their fight, because of their warring abilities, and also maybe because of their awakening devil fruits, the actual island itself, to this day, even long after their fight has ended, is now permanently changed. Half of it is filled with volcanoes and magma streams, and the other half is frozen. And I think that's because of the awakening of devil fruits. You know, like when Paramecia's awakened their devil fruits, as we've seen with Doflamingo, they're able to change their surroundings to, like Doflamingo was able to change the buildings to string. You know, Zoan awakened fruits we see with like the demon guards in Impel Down and with Chopper's monster point. You know, they just become, you know, these incredibly strong beasts that can heal really fast and are incredibly powerful. And then we have yet to see a Logia in their awakened state, but we can assume, I like to assume, that they can change the very weather itself. You know, change the climate on an entire island permanently with their power.
Damn, I couldn't dodge in time.
Aokiji and Aki Inu fight, and you know, the fight lasts way longer than I expected. You know, you would think that magma, you know, would trump ice every day of the week, no problem, but it lasted a decent amount of time. I can't remember quite how long it was. And the two of them were almost completely, you know, dead. They were on death's door. That's where Aki got his scars, he lost his leg. But it didn't come out Aki was that they were the victor. So he became a new fleet admiral, and kind of Aki just left. Aki said, I'm not serving how many days, and actually how I got to retire at some point. But yeah, Aki is currently the fleet admiral. He's currently one of the biggest threats that the Straw Hats have to face. It's going to be, and Luffy has a grudge against him, not just because, you know, he has the scar on that caused, Aki Inu caused the scar on Luffy's body, but he killed Ace. He killed his brother. He's responsible for a lot of other heinous shit throughout the world. It's going to be, at some point in this story, and this is something that I'm really hoping for, you know, that it fills me with happiness that I know that at some point in the story, at some point, it's gonna be Luffy versus Aki Inu. It's gonna happen. It could be 5 years from now. It could be 8 years from now. I don't know. But at some point in the story, Luffy versus Aki Inu is going to fucking happen. Luffy's probably going to have way more abilities at that point, going to be way stronger. I don't think he stands a chance against Aki Inu right now. But it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. I cannot wait. But yeah, that's Aki Inu's character right now. You know, he hasn't actually played that much of a role in the current story after the time skip, after we knew what happened on
Alright, y'all, I got the stream. It's 2 hours. I'm gonna charge my phone up. I'm trying to come back. Yeah, I'm gonna get some BBS tickets. I'm gonna try to come back and maybe. No, I know maybe. I am gonna farm BBS tickets still. Forget any of this, y'all. I gotta go. I'm out. Peace. Uzi, you a bitch. Rig, you a bitch.